Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament. Today, I'm reading the sixth part of the dissertation of the 26th chapter of the Potsmoker's Bible, which is the 23rd chapter of the book of Zion. I'm starting out with 49:9. That thou may sayest to the prisoners, Go forth. To them that are in darkness, show thyself. They shall feed in the ways, and their pastures shall be in all high places. This verse tells us thankfully that the prisoners that were released by Kenny's efforts will one day walk on the ashes of those who imprisoned them. That means that the same generation that builds the mountain arks will live to repopulate the outer new world. So, we who enter the mountain caves will also be alive to walk the new earth. But we will emerge into a whole new, much smaller world. Our land mass will be greatly reduced. Most of the land we now inhabit will be submerged. We will live on what we now consider the mountains, the high places of the earth. If all of the ice melts, the sea level would rise 230 feet or 70 meters. Then only the high places would remain. If there is a fireball earth of methane, then all of the ice will melt. The mean temperature on Earth will greatly exceed 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or the point that ice melts. We would be reduced in landmass the entire 230 feet or 7 meters. So the dire conditions that are suggested in the prophecy, which ultimately ends this civilization, the firestorm of God's wrath, is predicted to reduce our landmass by 70 meters or 230 feet. All of our pastures will then be in what we now call the high mountains. No one will be able to survive below 231 feet of sea level rise, so only the highest mountain ranges of the earth will be used to create our inner mountain arcs. Our entrances into the shelters will be well above the future water line. Even Nebraska is above the 230-foot sea level mark, or where I live. And the elevation, the true elevation, is Newark, New Jersey level. So anything below Newark, New Jersey, gone. Pretty much everything east of the Missouri River, with the exception of a few islands, will be all that remains above that 230-foot line on the east coast. But those islands will have been covered with thick ash, so only the high places will be inhabited. Those islands will probably remain relatively deserted unless there are survivors there. 49:10. They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor the sun smite them. For he that hath mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs of waters shall he guide them. So, when we will be returning to the surface as soon as the dust settles, and the gray have determined that the air is breathable, and that there is enough diffused light for growing crops, we will, of course, have to provide for ourselves the means to repopulate the earth. The Gray have already calculated the best genetic traits for our future needs and will provide us with the aid that we require until we are able to provide for ourselves. In our time encased in our mountain, it will be short, relatively speaking. So, we don't have to suffer that fate for too long. While we are in our mountain shelters, the Gray will monitor the changes to the Earth. When we emerge, we will know exactly where to find the resources like water and minerals, and we'll be able to rebuild quickly. And our future society will be secure. It will be peaceful, and there will be plenty for all. The presence of the Gray to monitor the changes that requires us to shelter will speed our recovery greatly. And most important of all, we know that we are not alone. We have the help and resources of an entire universal society waiting for our emergence back into the world of light and the vast adventure that has just begun for us, that of space flight. The gray will always be here to protect us, guide us into a delightful future. Daniel 7:18, Zion 23:19. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. The saints of the Most High and all of us potheads who are right now under the authority of a nation on earth, the saints that we are, we've overcome everything. We've overcome the human failings and the lies of this society. We have found our way on high. These are the ones who survive the war on drugs and create for themselves the kingdom of Zion and a beautiful future. And unlike the governments and the nations that rule over us today, this future kingdom is eternal. The kingdom of Zion, unlike the nations that we know, will not fail. It will be such a just and peaceful society that it will never be overthrown or rejected. The kingdom of Zion will last for as long as the human race does. The reason Zion will fail, whereas the known nations of today are projected to fail, is because Zion is a nation based not on power and greed, but it will be based on wisdom and unity. The government will provide for its people. Its people won't be the ones to provide for the elite. Zion will thrive, being designed to last. The reason our governments have failed us is because its entire base is designed to create and maintain an elite. There are separations of resources and services. Those who have money have power. Those who don't are enslaved to the elite. The governments that exist today service the powerful, the few, at the expense of the rest of us who suffer being unable to provide for ourselves. The laws are designed to ensure the wealthy remain in control. The poor are treated as chattel, nothing more than property. For that reason, they will all fail. The power base of our society is money. Money controls who makes and enforces the laws. But money, like power, is based on force and on a failed concept. When money has no value, society is maintained by it will fail. The government of Zion will be based on mutual cooperation. There are no elite in Zion. The king and queen are the founders of the nation. No more. They preside over the government, but they do not have ultimate authority. The council and their associated guilds will have the power. The elders will rule, having earned the proper qualifications in their respective fields through a lifetime of service in their guilds. Their ability will decide who rules, not how much money they have. Because this new form of government is designed to ensure that only the most qualified are able to rule, it will be able to withstand the test of time, because this government form comes from the gray. We have proof that it can indeed be an eternal form of government that need never be overthrown, because it is already in use by a race of aliens who have operated by it since long before Earth or humans existed. Daniel 7:13 and 14. Zion 23:20 and 21. 7:13. I saw in the night visions, and beheld one like the Son of Man, come with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. This verse tells us that Messiah, Kenny, is the first person to be physically allowed to stand before the Greys as friend. He is taken before the Ancient of Days, the ruler of the Council of the Races, and the Grey are but one of 12 races. Messiah is brought before the Council of Races, and he is recognized as Messiah for Earth. Zion is the first to realize the connection of the prophecy, but the Messiah is the first to have face-to-face contact with not only the Grey, but with the entire body of their society. He is the first human to stand before the races. 17:7:14. And there was given to him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages shall serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. Messiah is given rule over the earth. He has been appointed by the Ancient of Days, the eldest authority known in the universe. He has been given the means to rule humanity in the same way as other races govern themselves. His authority is final. There is no higher authority known in space, because he was chosen to rule, trained to rule, and given authority to rule. This sounds like a contradiction. How can he have ultimate authority, yet at the same time he shares authority both with Zion and with the Guild Council? But his job as ruler begins not with the set council, but with the world full of greedy, powerful nations that do not recognize that authority. In Zion, the king won't require the authority he needs right now. He won't need to be a powerful ruler backed up by alien races. He will be able to sit back and let the elders take care of the business, because he has already set up the council that will take over. But the king will have to prove himself first. Messiah will need to be given ultimate authority. He will have to take power away from those who now rule. He will truly have to become more powerful than money, his true foe. When he stands before the nations as King of Zion, he will be taking for us all the power to rule. Messiah rules the nations. With the authority invested in him by the 12 races, he takes over as the as the Speaker of the United Nations. He is in charge of proceedings. The nations have no choice. Because of the alien presence, humanity must submit to his rule. This is done out of dire necessity. We, as a race, are going to go extinct. With our current technology, we are doomed. We just don't have the means to save ourselves, so we will submit to Messiah's authority, because any nation that refuses is left to fend for themselves without the means to do so. The kingdom of Zion will become the planet of Zion. There will be one people, one nation, one planet of humans governed by one rule, one king. This united planet will never have need for any other form of government, so that Messiah's dominion will never end. His kingdom will never be destroyed. And there I will end for this section. And next time we will start out with Isaiah 51:4-6. So until then, may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you always be worthy of them. May your words, thoughts, and deeds always reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. May you always be happy and high. Know that I love you, each and every one. We'll see you soon. Until then, later, 'cause I'll never say goodbye.